Welcome to the Kitchen Table, a show dedicated to helping you escape diet culture, gain trust with food, honor your body, and live a brighter life. Hello. Alicia Brown here, and on today's episode of the Kitchen Table, I will be sharing with you a method to help you overcome food boredom. If you're lacking or if you're feeling like you're lacking some mealtime inspiration right now, I have an exercise to share with you to help you bring some zest back into your eating experience. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm bored with food, I'm always left feeling unsatisfied after meal times. I might feel physically, full, but I'm very mentally and emotionally unsatisfied. And so I'm just feeling that experience. Eating wasn't complete, or I'm like looking for other things to eat after I'm done eating a meal because I just feel like there's something missing. And so being bored with food or feeling like you're really stuck in a rut is zero fun. And there's a way out. There are three reasons, though, that I want to cover first that these are reasons why we might be feeling bored with food and or lacking mealtime inspiration altogether. Boredom might be one reason why we're feeling that lack of inspiration at meal times, but there are two other things that might be playing into this. We might think we're bored, but really it might be something else. And so another thing it might be is that we're just really conflicted about food. We might confuse being bored with food by being just at odds with it or conflicted about it. Because I know that when I had a poor relationship with food and I went into the grocery store, like I had to consider so many things when I was making every food decision, how many calories, how many carbs, how much sugar, what meal am I going to eat before this one? What meal am I going to eat after? The obsessiveness about food was just insane. And so what was the easier thing? The easier thing was just to kind of not think about it as much and to, just pick something. It didn't matter if it was satisfying. It didn't matter if I enjoyed it. I just had like my standard go-tos that I thought were quote unquote healthy. And I just kept choosing those because those became my safe foods. But having a small arsenal of safe foods can get really boring after a while. But we confuse that boredom with a lack of freedom. We confuse that boredom with restriction and with the dieting mentality. So that might be another reason that we're feeling kind of bored with food, is because we're only allowing ourselves to eat so many foods and we're sick of eating those so many foods, okay? So that is a good distinguishing thing to think about, distinguishing between the boredom and feeling at odds or feeling conflicted about food. Another reason why we might be feeling bored with food right now, or why we're feeling we're lacking some mealtime inspiration, is that we've just kind of forgotten about the foods that we enjoy eating. We forgot about the foods we like. And so we're kind of stuck in this food rut, keep going back to just our staple foods that we eat over and over again because we forgot what else is out there. And because they're more convenient, we know how to prepare them. We know they fit in our schedule. And maybe we're not dedicating time to like sit down and plan meals. And so we just keep going back to our go-tos. Even though we're not thinking about them in the same dieting way of like, I'm just eating my go-tos because these are safe and these I'm considering healthy. Maybe we're just eating them because we're on the go. And when life is a little chaotic, food is something that can become pretty unsatisfying because we're not actually focusing on satisfaction. We're not actually focusing on creating a really pleasurable food experience. We're just trying to get from A to B. So of course, we just do what's most convenient. In that, we can feel really bored with food, but it's because we're not putting in any of the effort in the planning of thinking about the foods that we actually like that we're not eating. And so that's what I have for you in today's episode, is a method, a worksheet that you can create for yourself, a practice to help you reconnect with the foods that you enjoy. So get out a pen and paper right now, because I'm going to give you some categories for you to consider to start filling in with foods that you know that you enjoy, that you just haven't had for a while, that you haven't thought about when you're going to the grocery store. We're going to reconnect you with foods that you like. As we do this, or as you do this practice, you might find that you're not allowing yourself to eat some foods you like. That is a great sign, and it's something that we can explore because you might be confronted with the diet mentality. Your food rules might come into play here. And so we'll talk a little bit about intuitive eating and how this correlates with creating positive and satisfying food experiences. Before I get into that practice and before I get into the categories, and as you're getting out a pen and paper, I want to share with you two really quick things. So just little mini segue into two kind of separate conversations. One, this is about coffee, and I found it, everyone. I found the solution for cold foam. You already know that I love heavy cream in coffee, right? Like if you're still on the half and half bandwagon, upgrade to heavy cream. You won't regret it. It is like the greatest leveling up of your coffee that you can have. But I think I have something even better. I found the solution to cold foam. I know how to make great cold foam for coffee. Maybe you've had cold foam at Starbucks, or maybe you just love foam in your coffee altogether. I found the way to make cold foam, and I've bought gadgets. I've looked into buying like really deluxe foaming gadgets. I have like a little handheld, little agitator. But this method is the best method, and I found it on Instagram just this morning. 99% of the things I find on Instagram, like these life hacks, these food hacks, 99% of the time they don't work, but this one does. So I want to share it with you. And you need a French press. So grab your French press, throw some milk in there, and just pump that French press a couple of times. You'll see the milk start to expand. And then so blissfully, you're going to have this coffee moment where you pour that foam from the French press into your coffee, boom, done. And it doesn't even have to be coffee. If it is coffee, it could be warm coffee, cold coffee, espresso. You can make yourself a latte with this foam, or you could pour it over matcha for a matcha latte, a tea for a tea latte. This foam is the answer. If you try this method out, tag me at aliciabrown.rdn on Instagram. I would love to see your foam creations. This morning, I had some soy milk in the fridge. I saw this hack. She did it on camera. So I was like, oh, this looks promising. I got my French press out. I generated some foam, and I was so excited. I was like, yes, I have to share this on the podcast today. So again, if you make a foamy creation, I would love to see it. You can find me at aliciabrown.rdn on Instagram. The second thing that I want to share with you is that I'm still accepting clients for my 3-month intuitive eating intensive. And so if you are feeling so conflicted with food right now, if it is taking so much of your time and your effort and your energy, and if you're kind of feeling alone and feeling conflicted about food as well, maybe you're not sharing this with other people, that food takes up so much space in your mind, that you're constantly thinking about calories and about what foods are good and bad, and you have a really hard time allowing yourself to feel satisfied with food. If you feel like you have surrendered to diet after diet and you keep feeling like you're failing the diet, the truth is that the diets have failed you. And the real truth in reconnecting with food and building a healthy relationship with food is first connecting with your body and achieving positive experiences with food. And this is where I use the practice of intuitive eating to help guide you through, to help reject the dieting mentality, to reject all the dieting rules, the eat past 6 p.m., the intermittent fasting, the calorie counting. We rid all of that, the weighing yourself on the scale. I know this is like rejecting everything that you've known to be true about your health, but look, in our pursuit to be healthy, through diet culture's influence, we've become increasingly unhealthy, not just physically, but also mentally and emotionally. So the way that we can reclaim our health is to reclaim our relationship with food so we can better connect with our bodies, so we can connect our mind with our bodies, so that we not only can then allow ourselves to achieve pleasure and satisfaction with food, but also nourishment as well. And when you are the sole authority to determine what, when, or how much to eat, you will never, and I mean never, need to hop back on a diet ever again, because you won't want to compromise the healthy relationship that you've built with your body. So if you're interested, visit the show notes of this episode and click the link there, or visit my website, click on the Work With Me tab. Nutrition with Alicia is my website. Click the Work With Me tab, fill out that application, and I will be in touch with you shortly. I'm only taking on 2 to 3 more clients because I just don't have a lot of babysitting right now, and I'm enjoying spending this time with my daughter. So I'm only taking on as many clients as I can, which is 2 to 3 right now, because I give so much love to my clients. And I really care about the relationship that I build with them as I do my best to guide them towards reconnecting with their intuitive eaters and reclaiming that part of themselves that diet culture might have stole from them. And I care about our relationship. I care about the success of each of my clients. And so I don't onboard like 30 at a time. I onboard just a few that I can really care about and ensure their success. So know that if we work together one-on-one, you are getting my best every session, every time, as I show up and I create a container for us, for you to feel safe as you navigate new food experiences and as you reconnect with yourself at the same time. All right, so enjoy the foam in your coffee, sign up for my 3-month intuitive eating intensive, and now getting back to navigating food boredom. With your pen and paper, write down these categories: fruits, vegetables. If you want to divide out vegetables, you can write down starchy vegetables and non-starchy vegetables. Meats and seafood, canned foods, snacks, frozen foods, bulk/grains, beverages, fun foods, dairy products. If you want to write a wine and spirits section of your list, please go for it. Maybe you lump that in beverages. Maybe you have a separate category. I'm breastfeeding right now, so I don't even that hasn't been on my radar for what seems to be decades. Okay, so within each of those categories, you've written them down. Maybe you've left some space, below each category or to the side of it. What I want you to do is just to brainstorm. What kind of foods do you like in each category? What are your favorite foods in each of these categories? If this is really hard for you to pull up in your brain right now and you can't even think about the foods that you like, at that point, hop on Google, do a little search of lists of produce lists. Maybe within that, you look at, okay, what's seasonal? Maybe at the grocery store, what's on sale. Some of these things can inspire you to maybe reconnect with what's, of the best quality or what's most available. But right now, this is just a brain dump. I just want you to brain dump what foods you like. And maybe this isn't just your staple foods. Maybe this is something that you haven't ate for a year or a decade. What kind of things did you eat in childhood, right? Do you want just macaroni and cheese with ring bologna sound good to you right now? Again, that's what I grew up with. But sometimes I go back to, my roots, or I think about something that I ate in college, or I think about, something that I haven't had for a while because I just got out of that phase. What do I want to reconnect with? What do I really enjoy? What do I really enjoy? A meal won't ever be satisfying if we are not eating foods we enjoy. So this is a great starting point. We have to start with recognizing the foods that we enjoy and just reminding ourselves of those things. Now, the best part of this list is that it not only serves when it's complete as a grocery list, but it can also help you with meal planning. Yes, you can meal plan while intuitive eating. And that is for another podcast episode. But trust me, planning is key to success because it can just help organize our thoughts, and we don't have to be married to the plan. We can just have that available to us. And we need food to be available to us to feel safe and secure and to be able to get our needs met. So what you can do with this list is you can use it as a grocery list, and you can use it to help plan your meals. So for example, maybe you add something from the meat and seafood category with a produce category with a starch category. Excellent. If you want to level up on top of that, you can talk about sauces, you can talk about spices that you want to include, but essentially that's like a great balanced meal. So use this list as the baseline for making a balanced meal or for sparking a thought of wanting to go and seek out a recipe with one of the ingredients that you really want to use on this list. So for example, if you really love carrots, like you forgot you loved carrots, but you love carrots, maybe you'll hop on Pinterest or hop on Google. I love to go to Food 52. I love Food 52. So I always go on Google, or I always type in Food 52 and I'm like, okay, carrot recipes. Maybe I'll get inspired there by something else that I already know that I like. But don't get stuck in this trap. There is a trap of just hopping on Pinterest and getting idea overload, of getting idea paralysis. You see so many different dishes and so many different, so many different recipes that we just get decision fatigue and we end up making nothing. It's like the same thing that happens with all of those, DIY projects and all of the other stuff, like all those Pinterest boards that we never touch. That happens all the time just as a result of decision fatigue. The result of this brainstorm and meal planning and looking up recipes is supposed to be something that's quick because nobody's taking an hour to meal plan. Okay. We want this to be quick and efficient and lead to a really satisfying meal experience. And if that did it for you, if you feel like this is like the golden nugget to help you create more satisfying meals and having more positive relationships with, the food that you're eating and creating nourishing and satisfying and delicious foods, and it helps you rid food boredom, if this served you in any way, I would love to hear about it. The greatest gift you can give to me is to hit that subscribe button on the show, on this whole show, The Kitchen Table with Alicia Brown. Hit that subscribe button either on, Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if you get a chance, rate this show as well. I always love to see, the ratings and the comments that you put in there, and maybe screenshot and share this episode as well if you know somebody else that's kind of in a food rut or that's feeling really bored with food right now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy this Monday. Take a cozy moment for yourself at some point today. Think about the foods that you enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you on next Thursday's episode. Take care.